Welcome back to the Ed Show, and thanks for watching tonight. We're coming to you from Madison, Wisconsin. Three completely unsurprising things happened today. The sun came up, the sun went down, and the Republicans absolutely hated President Obama's budget speech. House GOP leaders were shocked, absolutely shocked, that President Obama would dare bring up the idea of taxing millionaires and billionaires. Majority Leader Eric Cantor and Budget Wonder Boy Paul Ryan ignored the president's substance and focused on one thing: taxes.
The president goes and delivers a speech in which the only concrete proposal that he proposed was raising taxes. And that solution falls far short of dealing with the kind of crisis that we're facing as far as the debt's concerned in this country.
I'm very disappointed in the president. I was excited when we got invited to attend his speech today. I thought the president's invitation to Mr. Camp, Mr. Hensling, and myself was an olive branch. Instead, what we got was a speech that was excessively partisan, dramatically inaccurate, and hopelessly inadequate to addressing our country's pressing fiscal challenges.
And with Glenn Beck fading into the sunset off of Fox soon to be, Rush Limbaugh wasted no time reclaiming the mantle of the right-wing media kingpin.
See, if you are productive, if you work, if you are successful, if you create wealth, if you earn wealth, if you create jobs, then you are Obama's target, because he cannot pay for what he's done. He can't pay for what he's doing unless he steals more from you. What you heard today, if you haven't heard it, you will. It's like a Labor Party leader in Europe.
Joining me tonight here on The Ed Show is Democratic Congressman Barney Frank of Massachusetts. Congressman, great to have you with us tonight.
Thank you, Ed.
I don't think there's really no surprise at how the Republicans were going to react to this. But they just cannot accept any type of tax increase whatsoever. What's your response to the way they responded to the president?
Well, first, I was surprised. The chutzpah of the Republican leadership of the House accusing Barack Obama of being partisan, that's a little bit like being lectured on family planning by the Octomom. These are the people who are the most partisan, rigidly ideological, mean-spirited group we've ever seen running either House of Congress. Secondly, they, of course, distort what the president says. But let's go to the record. Let's look at the evidence. What the president is talking about is returning tax rates for people who make $250,000 a year or more to the level they were at in the Clinton years. I voted for a tax increase under Bill Clinton, and it was for everybody, but it was not for everybody. It was for the people that the president is talking about. And we were talking about them paying 39% instead of 35% of their income. Hardly an enormous disruption in the lives of people with millions of dollars. And after we passed that tax, Dick Armey and others predicted it would devastate the economy, and we had the best economic record in recent American history, unlike the record after the Bush tax cuts. The only thing I would say to correct the president is, in fairness to Warren Buffett, the president said Warren Buffett doesn't need a tax cut. That's right. And Warren Buffett knows he doesn't need a tax cut and doesn't want one. He's one of those sensible business people who supports putting those tax rates for the upper income people back there. But the president said some other things as well. He did talk about, for the first time, cutting military spending. Not as much as I think we should. But he did specifically say that he thinks he can cut $400 billion. I think that's less than half of what we can do. But it's in great contrast to the Republicans, who continue to cut things that we need here at home so they can spend unnecessarily on the military. So I was very pleased with the speech. Yeah.
Congressman, what about the taxes, the increase? There's going to be spending cuts right away, but the tax increases aren't going to happen for some months ahead. The Bush tax cuts are going to go through next year. Can the president win on this issue? I mean, all the polls out there show that the American people are with him. What do you think about that?
Absolutely, he wins for a couple of reasons. First of all, we don't have to do anything. Remember, what the president did, and I disagreed, I voted against that deal last year that let them those tax reductions stay in power in place for another year. But if nothing happens, the tax rates go back to where they were. We don't have to get a bill through the House. They have to get one through the Senate and signed by the president to keep them at the lower level. Secondly, for from the economic standpoint, we are still in a weak economy, although it's growing and strengthening. You know, for the last year, every month we've seen more private sector jobs. And by the way, that's one of the things the Republicans are frantic about. This economy is starting to recover, and they hate that because they want to be able to defeat the president based on a bad economy. I hate to have to say that, but I think that's true. But most economists would say this. It is better, in fact, deferring the tax increase is okay because we want this year, we are still in an economy that needs some stimulation. And having the spending now and the tax revenues coming next year, we need to bring the deficit down over a period of 5, 6, 7 years. In the short term, we still need some stimulation to get people back to work.
And finally, Congressman, two things. Does President Obama, does his numbers work? And secondly, was he strong enough on Medicare saying that we're not going to go to a voucher program? Did he satisfy you with that language, and do you believe him?
Yes, I definitely believe him, and I was satisfied with what he said. Dennis Kucinich is right. We want more details. But what he said was exactly right. And the point we have to make is this, and he said this, you can't just single out Medicare and Medicaid, because if you do, the people on Medicare and Medicaid will be at a disadvantage. You've got to reform the way we deliver health care overall. And the president was on target when he said that. He is talking about much less military spending than the Republicans, more revenue from the very rich in ways that won't hurt the economy, and then protecting our ability. Look, Social Security and Medicare, two great Democratic achievements of the last few years, the last 50, 70 years, brought older people out of poverty. Before Social Security, before Medicare, for most older people, unless they were wealthy, they had to live in poverty. We should be proud of that accomplishment, not apologize for it.
No doubt. I don't think there's any doubt Americans agree with you on that. The bottom line now is that this administration, the Democrats, are going to have to protect those because the Republicans have got them in their crosshairs, no doubt. Congressman Barney Frank, Massachusetts, good to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.